I want you to, actually you should have a notebook. Let me give you a minute to get your notebooks and pen. So for example, for this introvert, just realize that your clarity is your power. Extroverts they're the energy catalyst. Hello, my Clarity Circle members. How you doing? How is that going? I hope you're doing fantastic. Personally, I'm doing very well. And honestly, I am impressed and happy about your interactions, your likes, your comments in the past 2 episodes. It only gives me the affirmation to keep going. And it tells me that we are on this journey together. You remember, our mission statement is to become better, to realize that we are not broken, we are not fixed. We just want to know ourselves better, but layer by layer. So thank you so much for affirming me in this journey. And with that, I welcome you to the Clarity Couch so that we can cover our next episode. On our next stage in discovering ourselves and getting to know exactly who you are, we are going to look at personality types. What are personality types, you wonder? Personality types, in layman's language, is just your wiring, your internal wiring. Let me start with an example before I come to saying what they are. I want you to imagine, when we are looking at these personality types, I want you to imagine a room, you yourself in a dark room. Before you figure out where to step or whatever you need to pick, it's a lot of struggle. You'll be knocked down, you'll be hit, like you don't have clarity on where you are going. Why? Because the room is pitch dark. Now, imagine the same room, but with lights on. You don't struggle. You are able to get whatever it is that you want, whatever room you want to, and you do it so easily. So in the same way, I want you to see personality types, or to consider personality types as the lighting within you. It is what people see. It's how people experience you. It's the light within you. Today's episode will have a lot of illustrations. I hope you remember back in high school, I think. Back in high school, you used to learn a lot about systems, the digestive system, the breathing system, the respiratory system. All these systems, they were organs that work complementary to each other. Like each organ has a function, has an independent function, but somehow they are interconnected. And if one organ is not working well, then you're said to be sick. And even if it's that bad, an operation is needed to rectify the situation. So in the same way, when it comes to personality types, it's a whole system. It's an interconnection. It's fine. We said personality types is your internal wiring, how you are wired, how you go through the world when no one is watching, how people experience you. So you see, you're not operating individually. It's you and how others see you, or how you move, yes, but there's also the part of where others are feeling you or are experiencing you. Okay. Having that understanding now, I think we can demystify exactly what are we talking about when we say personality types. Personality type, now in an understandable way, is the patterns that you as an individual display when your energy is at play, when you're making your decisions, when you are responding to stressful situation, and when you instinctively want to protect yourself for one reason or another. Those obvious patterns, what people can conclude, or how you react, and they can see and make a conclusion. That is what personality types is. Now, the problem is when you hear of personality types, or when people see these patterns, they want to label you. They want to put you in a box. But I want you to know that personality types, you shouldn't take it as as a label, because labels, the thing with labels is that they are limiting. You feel like you've been put in this box and it's impossible for you to exist in any other way other than what you have been conditioned or how they have said you to be. So I want you to view personality. We said it's the internal wiring. It's the lighting system within you. So I want you to consider personality types as a tool. What happens when you have a tool, whatever tool that you have in hand, and you know exactly the purpose of that tool and how to use it to get the desired results. When you have a tool and you know how to use it, the results are impeccable. In the same way, approach personality types. Your personality types, you'll get to look at it and you'll know exactly where you lie. But consider personality type as a tool, your tool that you're supposed to make work, and work, not just work, but work efficiently and effectively. All right. So with that introduction, I want us now to get to know what these personality types are. And as we say them, please try and place yourself accordingly. Try and gauge where you think you lie. I'll just give some characteristics. Later, we will get to the strengths and, well, we'll come to that. But I want you to, actually, you should have a notebook. Let me give you a minute to get your notebooks and pens, because this is it's an important part of knowing yourself, okay? So do you have your notebooks ready? You don't have to have a physical notebook. Get your notes, phone notes, eh? There's that application. Write down, try to summarize. You have that done? Very well. So the first personality type is categorized based on your energy. We said these are their patterns picked from how your energy is at play. So the first dimension of personality type is categorized according to energy. And when people categorize you according to energy, you either become an introvert or an extrovert. This is a term that has been thrown around so many times. So not unless you live under a rock, which is impossible, I'm sure you have heard that term. They're an introvert, they're an extrovert. But what does it really mean? Introverts are people who recharge internally. And how do they do that? They do that by taking their quiet time, requiring their space, and just reflecting. Those are introverts. That is how they restore themselves. They restore themselves by recharging internally. Extroverts, on the other hand, recharge externally. And how do they do this? They do this by expression, engagement, and interaction. Those are extroverts. Extroverts will talk. The second dimension on how personality types are classified is based on a pattern based on how you make your decisions. And based on this, again, you are classified either as a thinker or a feeler. A thinker or a feeler. Who are thinkers? Thinkers are those people who use logic, objective, and structure. That's their main focus. While a feeler, on the other side, they focus on values, impact, and emotional information to make their decisions. So based on how you make your decisions, based on the side that you naturally lean towards more, then you either become a thinker or you are labeled. Let's use that word. You are labeled as a thinker or a feeler. The next dimension is now based on your general life approach. How, like, your bias or your preference in structure. Based on this, you are either placed as a planner or a spontaneous person. So who is a planner? A planner is a person who prefers predictability, preparation, and order. That is a planner. And while a spontaneous person, they relate better to adaptability, flexibility, and flow. For them, if flow. Those are spontaneous, the spontaneous type. So I hope in your notebook, remember we are writing notes, you have 6 of them. You are either an introvert or an extrovert, a thinker or a feeler, a planner or a spontaneous person. I hope you remember when we were beginning, we said it's patterns picked from how you make your decisions, the energy that is in play, how you approach life, and how you instinctively protect yourself. Now, based on or under very, very stressful circumstances and conditions, these personality types, the ones that we have just named, they intensify. And when they intensify, they tend to show or to play in a not so good way. Maybe you're wondering, what is this pattern that displays when you are instinctively trying to protect yourself? So you find that under this high level stress, introverts will withdraw. And that's how they protect themselves. That is by condition or unawares, instinctively, they will want to withdraw. You remember we said they recharge internally. So under very, very stressful conditions, they will withdraw. For extroverts, you find that they will overshare, overexpress themselves. For thinkers, they detach. For feelers, they absorb. Feelers, we say they're emotional, so they will absorb. For planners, they want to take control, to be in control. And for the spontaneous type, they will tend to show avoidance tendencies. Now, if you look at it or you look at this protection strategy, honestly, it's not the best. Detaching is not the best way to respond to a situation. Neither is overexpressing yourself, neither is absorbing so much information or showing avoidance tendencies. So the next step that I want us to take is to look at these personality types in detail so that we can know how to eliminate this instinctive protection style that we are choosing to brand as a protection style. Then how do you minimize it, or how do you make sure that it does not affect you and the people around you? Because honestly, you can see it's not a very healthy way of dealing with things. Yet that is how you will naturally want to protect yourself. What do I mean? What I mean is, from the self-sabotage, from this weakness that you are showing, not speaking up soon enough, that is where your growth edge comes in. And that is your power. That is where you need now to maximize. That's where it's the gap that you need to bridge for you to say that you are now using your tool maximally. So, for example, for this introvert, just realize that your clarity is your power, because you have analyzed, you can see things clearly, you can see them for what they are. So that is your power. Just say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Don't hoard this information. It will help people. You also find that you delay in making a decision. Like before, when the process between you executing and you thinking takes time. It shouldn't be so long. Otherwise, that's the gap that you need to bridge. And that is your growth edge. That is what you need to focus on, work on, for you to now say that you are exercising your introvert status maximally. Let's analyze extroverts. Extroverts they're the energy catalysts. They're the people who recharge externally. They are labeled as loud, they are labeled as social, they are labeled as confident. When you are in a group and someone tells you, you're just too loud, you may be offended, you may want to take offense in that, but then you don't consider the fact that being the way you are, being this person who who speaks, who engages, who express themselves, then it means you're processing out loud. You're processing in real time, which I think is a thing that most people do not do. Like for you, you think as you do. So if you want to interpret it in a better way, your processing time is very short. Between thinking and doing, you take a very short time, which is a strength. But someone else will choose to label you as loud. But this nature of yours is helping you in other ways. And again, extroverts, they generate momentum in stagnant spaces. I mean, your superpower is talking. Your superpower, you have these ideas that never seem to end. And they shouldn't. So why are you afraid to speaking them? Just because someone called you loud, give out your ideas, help people who feel stagnant, move on. So when we say you see your personality type as a tool and as power, is when you refuse to be labeled as loud and instead choose to see it from these perspectives that are now very positive and that will help not only you, but even others. They also sense energy shifts very fast. Because, I mean, you've been talking to people for the whole 10 minutes we've been here. So you will see when they're starting to disengage or be disinterested. And now, again, awareness for extroverts is when you expressing yourself does not come in between you and seeing that people are now getting disinterested. Let me just end it there. Like, knowing your limit is very important for extroverts. What I need you to consider and understand about extroverts is that when they're speaking, you see, they process on the go. They're not speaking to fill up space or to dominate. They're just seeking their clarity. That is how they seek clarity, on the go. And that gives us their absolute advantage. The absolute advantage of extroverts is that they can get things done. However, the self-sabotage of the same extroverts is that they can over-explain. They are in a tendency of over-explaining themselves. And the problem of this is that sometimes when you talk too much, you may talk yourself out of wisdom. Like, you have something very good to say, you started off very well, but then because you're going on and on and on and on, then now you start saying unnecessary things or exposing yourself. And well, we are not trying to hide anything, but again, there is beauty in just knowing where your limit is, when to stop, when you have said enough. You don't have to follow up everything with a sentence. You don't. Knowing where to now stop, the limit, you have said enough, that is now the growth edge that extroverts need to focus on. When we come to thinkers are labeled as, thinkers, first of all, they are stabilizers. That is what thinkers are. They are stabilizers. But they are labeled as logical, rational, and cold. Again, when someone says, you appear cold, you may take that as an insult, but they don't understand that as a thinker. And what did we say thinkers operate? We said thinkers, they value structure, they value logic, and they value order. So whenever there are chaos, they have zero chills and zero tolerance for chaos. So for thinkers, yes, they may appear cold because they are trying to protect. They are looking for some stability that chaos will interfere with. We come to planners. Planners, we said they're categorized there based on their life approach, how they prefer their structure, how they approach life, really. And we said they prefer some order, they prefer predictability. So for this reason, they are labeled as organized and controlling. Like most planners, they have a plan. The first question they ask is, what is the plan? And they plan it from the beginning to the end. For this reason, they will be labeled as organized people and also a bit controlling. So what is ignored, however, is that they reduce chaos for others, because we keep saying when you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So when a planner is in a team, I want to consider a team. When a planner is a team, or when you consider things ahead, then it means you are able to foresee a possible chaos or possible challenges and know exactly how to deal with them. So they reduce chaos for themselves and for others. They also see long-term consequences, again, through that planning, and they create reliability. If you can rely on a person, it means the fact that they are organized, the fact that they have figured things out means that they will be reliable in a team. The absolute advantage they have as planners is that they are future protectors. If you are able to rely on someone, say, that's a person I can rely on, it means you trust them for any eventuality. And for that reason, planners are future protectors. However, they can self-sabotage by being too rigid. You see, a planner is a person who wants to have things in order from now. Like they want to plan for the next 6 months, let's say, or for the whole project at the beginning. They want to start a project knowing how it will end. Now, the disadvantage of this is that sometimes in future, there's some eventualities may occur. And the fact that maybe you are too rigid, you didn't leave some space for any changes, then it means if you are in a team, you may tend to show some control tendencies that do not sit very well with everyone. I'll keep reminding you that from your weakness, from your blind spot, then you can be able to pick or to know where your growth edge is. And for planners, we've said they are a bit too rigid. So what they need to do to maximize their tool is to create some space, but considering that something may come up. So if they create some space, then they are able to incorporate changes that may come with time, and that will make them anticipate for the unknown, which solves a problem. Then it means they don't have to show these controlling tendencies. Why? Because they planned for it. They created an allowance for any eventualities. We look at the final personality type, which is a spontaneous type. So we said the spontaneous personality type, they are adaptable. They prefer adaptability, flexibility, and flow. So for this reason, they are labeled as free-spirited, sometimes unreliable, and even careless. Why? Because it's people who want to be on the go. However, what is ignored is that they adapt quickly. Because their flexibility makes them adapt quickly to whatever situation. They also thrive in uncertainty because, they're flexible. So whatever comes, they are able to improvise a solution or a way out and move on. For them, it does not feel uncomfortable to start something new. It comes almost automatically for them. They also bring creativity to stack systems. And for this reason, their absolute advantage is that they can be considered as change accelerators, because we said they adapt very fast. So for them, changing from one thing to the other is not very hard. It's something they can do over and over and over again without finding it uncomfortable. It's not like, you see, we are comparing them against the planners. So it's not like the planners, they have a plan they must stick to. For them, they are on the go. For whatever comes, we are able to improvise a solution and find a way out. A good example maybe is when COVID hit us in 2020. You see, we are used to a certain structure, a certain way of life. And now, having to adapt to a situation where you don't know what tomorrow holds, or you don't even know what will be said the next minute. You don't know if you'll be told to, if it's an apartment, you should only be one person per floor. We were living in so much uncertainty. It was almost, it was not a nice time to exist. But for spontaneous people, maybe because it's a calamity, we didn't have so much choice, but their life is like that. Like nothing is fixed for them. They can make plans now and make others tomorrow. So for that, they are considered as change accelerators. Now, how they self-sabotage is that they can show avoidance tendencies. They avoid commitment. And why is this? They show avoidance to commitment because flexibility for them is important. Let's agree that it's important. So when it feels like they're being caged, or you want to control them to one way of doing things, then they may resist. And the thing is, they don't want to say no to, because they're people who keep on changing. So if they say yes now, they don't know if the version of them now may change tomorrow. As we come to our conclusion on personality types, I want you to keep in mind that what we've covered, it does not mean that one personality type is superior to the other. Actually, there is no better personality type than the other, because if you've listened carefully, you can see there are strengths, weaknesses, blind spots in each one of them. And not until you consider every aspect of this. If it's decision making, for instance, if you're talking about feelers versus who thinkers. Thinkers, we said they use logic, while feelers use emotions. If you use emotions only to make a decision, then it means your decision may not be fully it. It won't be a good decision to say. If you only use logic and do not apply emotions, then again, it means your decision may not be complete. It will be incomplete. However, an ideal decision would be one that uses logic and applies emotions. Then that way, it can be said to be complete. So again, I wanted to know that these personality types, they are just our way of surviving. They are our way of making decisions. They're just our way of, they're the way we are conditioned. But creating awareness on their strengths is what makes the whole difference. I have an assignment for you. I'm sure on your notes, we said you are taking notes for this one continuing. On your notes, you have 6 personality types and you've placed yourself accordingly. And I want you to know again, it's not that if you're an introvert, you're an introvert. You can be a combination of several of those personality types. So I need you to place yourself accordingly and then ask yourself, which part of you have you been judging instead of using? Because again, we said for this tool, because they're not just personality types, they are tools. For these tools, you need to know how to use them effectively for them to work for you. So which part of you have you been judging instead of using? Again, I want you to ask yourself the second question. It's not really a question. I want you to comment in the comment section. But I expect this session to be very interactive because I believe it has touched so many of you. It has piqued your curiosity or maybe informed something that you are not aware. So let's debate it in the comment section and tell us one trait you are learning to work with and not against. Yeah. If you have always been emotional, maybe you have been in denial of that of that part of you because you will be labeled as sensitive or you'll be labeled as too needy. So can we in the comment section discuss those traits that we are now or we will now intentionally learn to work with? That is it from the Clarity Couch and from me. It has been an absolute pleasure calling myself out, and I hope you have also had fun knowing where you belong and knowing that from maybe today henceforth your relationship in your workplace or your groups, the groups that you exist in, will be better just because you have tried to identify some maybe weaknesses that you are showing unknowingly. I should mention that our next episode will also be personality types, but now today we looked at the wiring, how you move through the world. You move through the world when no one is looking. Our next episode will be how visible are these personality types? How are they perceived by others? What do others know about you that you don't know? Imagine, yeah, that happens. Others will know something about you or a trait of you that you are not aware of. That is it now from the Clarity Couch. Until next time, like, share, subscribe, and leave your comments down here below. Bye. Oops, look at me forgetting to wish you a happy Valentine's Day. Whether you're booed up, whether you're single by choice, single by force, I'm wishing you a very happy Valentine's Day. But do not forget, the best relationship you can have is with yourself. But enjoy this Valentine's Day.